Indicting Trump. I can't believe this is where we are as a nation in 2023. Let's look at the legal ramifications of DOJ Special Prosecutor Jack Smith apparently demanding that Donald Trump turn himself into federal custody for a record third indictment against the former president, this time for leading an insurrection on January 6, 2021. Let's look at what Donald Trump did that day. Before the nation and the world, Donald Trump instructed those attending the Save America rally to march to the U.S. Capitol and to peacefully protest, his words, the certification of the 2020 presidential election.
Because we're going to have somebody in there that should not be in there, and our country will be destroyed, and we're not going to stand for that. Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong. We have come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Today we will see whether Republicans stand strong for integrity. We have come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Today we will see whether Republicans stand strong for integrity. So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol, and we're going to try and give. The Democrats are hopeless. They're never voting for anything. Not even one vote. But we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help. We're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country. So let's walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I want to thank you all. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you all for being here. This is incredible. Thank you very much.
Those who attended Trump's rally did not participate in the violent storming of the Senate building. Trump's audience peacefully protested and then returned to their homes. The people storming the Senate building did so in the middle of Trump's speech. They weren't listening to his words for peaceful protest. This is something no news network will ever point out, by the way, but I studied the timeline of the New York Times. Those attacking police at the Senate building were not peaceful attendees of Trump's speech at the opposite end of the National Mall. I recall that 2016 presidential candidate Hillary Clinton said that the election was rigged. Violent Democrat mobs rioted and destroyed property and set fires to protest the results of the 2016 presidential election. Hillary Clinton was not charged for instigating an insurrection via her repeated remarks that the election was stolen from her. If Donald Trump's actual speech on January 6 did not inspire an insurrection, perhaps he gave orders to the Oath Keepers to that effect. 8 Oath Keepers were sentenced to federal prison with sentences ranging up to 18 years. The Biden Justice Department has appealed these sentences, demanding they be lengthened. It is my concern that the federal judge in this case made these convictions just so their lengthy sentences could be used as a pretext to send Donald Trump to prison. We shall see if this concern is borne out by the facts as time goes by. But let's return to the notion that a political leader, a president, can be charged with the personal conduct of anyone listening to his speech. This is, in fact, the de facto policy of social media companies. Their stated reasoning was that anyone even hearing Trump's words could be inspired to violent insurrection. Words, apparently, are no longer protected by the First Amendment to the Constitution. Or perhaps Donald Trump is the sole person in our nation's history not to enjoy First Amendment rights. Given the forthcoming federal indictment by Special Prosecutor Jack Smith, it appears that they are going to hold Donald Trump liable for any crime carried out that day within the city limits of Washington, D.C. So if someone entered the Senate building without written permission from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the indictment will assert that Trump instigated the lawless behavior. If someone stole hubcaps in Washington, D.C. that day, or mugged somebody in an alleyway a few blocks down from where Trump was speaking, then I suppose Trump should also be charged with that lawless behavior too. I cannot recall any previous instance of a Democrat mayor, governor, or president being charged for inciting a crowd to riot by their very words. The mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of Minnesota both urged George Floyd protesters to express themselves as they saw fit.
Need a catalyst, it's already burning. And so this is trying to strike that balance. And so I am in total agreement with that. You will not see that tonight. There will be no lack of leadership, and there will be no lack of response on the table.
Follow-up, should there have been a National Guard presence on every corner in those areas last night as a deterrent, as opposed to having them come in
well, I would ask, and I'll
darkness?
answer this one, potentially, but the decision on that, as it's made from the city, and on this one, I think I would agree with them. We saw the first night, decisions were made. Up until about 8:30 last evening, it appeared that things were relatively peaceful on that. There was a decision during the day whether did you occupy the entire city and shut it down after those 24 hours. In retrospect, I'm assuming that, yes, we would say that. But at the time, and again, we will not know it because proving the negative, would it have simply started those that movement faster, and would we have seen it moved out of the 3rd precinct? But, yeah, certainly, it's a valid critique and point. Yes?
Governor, you know, there was uncontrolled looting in St. Paul yesterday afternoon, and you're talking about making decisions at 10 o'clock. Why are you making the decisions then and not coming up with these scenarios as these things are happening just up the street from where...
The leadership of communities is led by local leadership, their police force. They were at that time, had sources in reserve, they were not being requested. They were not being requested, and I'm on with them. The reason we're standing here today is, if this would have been executed correctly, the state would not lead on this. The state would have supported those, and they would have moved forward. That did not happen.
Democrat officials ordered the police and fire departments to stand down during the George Floyd riots, as looters and rioters burned and destroyed everything in their path. Once Democrat citizens of other big cities saw that there were no repercussions to lawless behavior, and their own Democrat leaders locally urged them to express themselves, every big city in America erupted in flames in 2020. No Democrat leader was charged with inciting insurrection or violence or arson or looting. In fact, they used the looting to expand their power, and sent the bill for the damages to taxpayers. It appears there is a double legal standard in the United States of America in 2023. Do they really need to invent a new set of federal laws just to get Trump? Leon Trotsky might say that this all sounds very familiar. He had similar justice dispensed to him by the man who ruled the Soviet Union after him, Joseph Stalin. What is happening in the United States of America regarding the 45th and 46th presidents is not justice and it's not the rule of law. Thank you.